just prepping some vegetables. I'm gonna try to get some things in a crock pot. I think I'm gonna try to make a beef stew. I think that'd be a good thing for this type of weather. It is now the next day. I think the end of Vlogmas day 1 I was like cooking, and here at the beginning of Vlogmas day 2 I'm cooking again. I mean, isn't that what people, is that what people do? That's what I do. I don't know how else people eat. I don't go out to eat very often, not only because of the cost, but I feel like restaurant food isn't that good. So like, I end up cooking at home. Anyways, I don't know if this is a good moment to start this conversation, but last night I was eating my nachos, which, by the way, they were good. I just wasn't hungry, but they were good. They turned out good. Anyway, while I was having dinner last night, I started a conversation. I asked the person who I was eating dinner with, if you could choose your gender, like if you could have chosen to be a man or a woman, what would you choose? Would you choose what you are, or would you choose something else? And they said they would choose what they are, which is a man. They would still choose to be a man. They are a man, and they would still choose to be a man. I thought that was interesting, because my answer was no, I wouldn't choose what I am. I wouldn't choose to be a girl, a woman, a female if I had a choice. And I mean, I'm not gonna change that. I can't change it at this point, and I'm willing to be what God chose me to be. God chose me to be a woman, so I mean that's what I'm gonna be, and I'll try to be that to the best of my ability. But just going with this conversation that I started last night, would you choose, if you're a man, and you had the choice to be born a man or a woman, would you choose to be a man still? And likewise, if you're a woman, but you had the choice, would you still choose to be a woman? Now, I think that can definitely vary from person to person, what they would choose to be if they could choose. But for me, at least at that moment in time, and other moments in time, I wouldn't choose to be a woman. I wouldn't. Now it makes me wonder why. Why would I not choose to be that? I can only speak from the perspective of being a woman. I know men probably have their own difficulties in life, and I'm not trying to dismiss or like invalidate how men have difficulties in life, but I'm not a man, so I'm not speaking from that perspective. But as a woman, I wouldn't choose to be a woman if I had a choice. Why? I think it's because I feel like okay, first of all, I don't need to live up to the expectations of, let's say, certain societal expectations and whatnot, but just going with this conversation, I feel like women are expected, there's more expected of a woman than a man, especially these days. I feel like women are expected to be a man and a woman together. Don't be weak, but don't be too strong either, or else you'll come off masculine. You know what I mean? I feel like standards that women are held to are higher these days specifically than the standards a man is held to. I just think that women are expected to be everything a man is, plus whatever a woman is on top of it. Also, okay, going further with this, for instance, on a very superficial level, I feel like if a man gets ready, all they gotta do is put on some pants and a button-down shirt that isn't too wrinkled, and they'll come off looking like they're really polished or something. Like they don't even have to wash their face or comb their hair or nothing. It's like they throw on a pair of pants, some decent shoes, a not too wrinkled button-down shirt, and they're like, wow, they really put effort into it. They're looking really good. They're looking really polished. Probably because the standard of how a man is supposed to appear is so low. Where I feel like a woman, you gotta look you don't have to. I'm just saying, societally, you're expected to be presentable most of the time, or else you're like letting yourself go or something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I hope I'm making sense. I just feel like the standards for women are higher than the standards for men. Even with the cooking and cleaning aspect of situations, I feel like if a man cooks or cleans, it's like extra special that they did that, or like they deserve a medal or something because they cooked or cleaned. Like, wow, you really did that? How amazing, how unusual that is. Well, it may be unusual, but if a woman does it, it's like, well, yeah, you do that. You do the cooking and cleaning because you are a girl, right? That's what you do. So I just feel like again, the expectations are different. Am I actually complaining about being female? No, I don't feel like complaining. It's kind of pointless. I was just trying to make conversation last night instead of just eating my nachos and staring at the TV. I was trying to make some kind of interesting conversation, and I did find it interesting, personally. I don't know if the person I was talking to found it interesting, but at least they, as a man, admitted they would still choose to be a man. And I said if I had a choice, I would have chosen to not be a woman. So does that say something? Maybe that says something. Anyways, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you celebrate Thanksgiving? I didn't do any cooking on that day. I didn't do anything on that day, and it felt, in that respect, it felt good, but I mean, I wasn't having a heyday as it was. I was in bed all day feeling like I was dying. That's how I spent my Thanksgiving. I spent it about all day in bed feeling like I was dying in pain. So that was how my Thanksgiving went. Thankfully, I am feeling better now, though, so I'm grateful for that. Speaking of being grateful, and connecting this to what I started to talk about men and women, and would you choose to be a man or would you choose to be a woman? Is there anything, I'm just talking to myself at this point, really, is there anything about being a woman that I am grateful for? Let's put it in that light, since I have already said I wouldn't choose to be a woman if I had the choice. Is there anything that I am grateful for actually being a woman? Let me think about that for a second. Also, that onion is potent. That's why I'm sniffling. Is there anything? Actually, no. Actually, at the moment, what comes to mind is more reasons why I don't like being a woman that much. Because Even in the way women are, if you communicate a thing, right? You try to communicate a thing, suddenly you can be labeled as this way, or like this negative thing or that negative thing. Or if a man communicates the same thing, they're like really on the ball and intuitive and forward thinking. But if a woman does the same thing, it's like, why is she stirring the pot? Why is she being that way? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But okay, back to me trying to think of, is there one thing about being a woman that I am grateful for, as opposed to if I was a man? Let me think about that. Again, what comes to my mind is more reasons for why if I could choose, I'd rather be a man. First of all, another thing that comes to my mind is the physical aspect of, I kind of like that men on the whole are physically stronger. I don't really like, of course, as a woman you can build up your body, you can develop muscles and whatever, but I mean just naturally, without even working at it too hard, a man is generally stronger physically than a woman. And to me, I would prefer being, I think that would be nice to be just normally, naturally, without working at it, physically stronger. Then you could do more like labor without feeling like you can't or something, or feel a little disadvantaged. Also, the idea that generally out in public you would probably, as a woman, you might be defeated by almost at least 50% of everyone out there physically if you were in a fight or something. So yeah, the physical aspect is another thing. I'm still trying to get to, is there a single thing about being a woman that I'm grateful for? There should be. There should be. I'm trying to think of it though. I don't want to be ungrateful. I'm just, let me think. Okay, it's very superficial. It's very superficial, but I do appreciate that women have a better selection of like clothing and shoes and accessories. Have you, like, I've walked through the men's section of like a clothing store, like the shoes, it looks depressing. The colors that men generally have to choose from for clothes are like black, gray, dark green, maroon, just like the most boring, depressing colors I think I've ever seen. At least women get to generally have more like colorful clothing to choose from. I guess men do too if they look hard enough, but generally the clothing that men get to choose from looks kind of depressing to me. Okay, and even the shoes. Shoes. I appreciate that I have quite a wide variety of shoes, pretty shoes to choose from. Okay, so that was pretty superficial. Is there anything else about being a woman that I appreciate? Maybe on a deeper note? I can't think of one at the moment. Well, okay, here's one. I think women generally are treated nicer than men are. I'm talking about in social situations or out in public, that sort of thing. I think generally women are treated a little nicer, kinder than men are. That is my own observation. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if that's becoming less common these days or not, but I think generally women are treated a little nicer. Like, might be helped faster if they need help. Something along those lines. Kind of going along with that, I think if a man is seen in public in certain situations alone, they could come off as kind of creepy or questionable, and maybe not without cause, but I'm just saying, I think generally if a woman is seen alone in public, they are less apt to be seen as creepy and suspicious. That's what I think. So I mean, I guess in that regard, I don't mind being a woman if I'm treated nicer and I'm not immediately judged as some kind of potential creepy threat. You know what I mean? So, but otherwise, I don't know. I want to appreciate the way God created me, and I do. I am not complaining about being a girl. I just started that conversation last night, and it made me think. And I think, as I said, I still think what I think about. I think that women are expected, a little more expected from than men are. Again, I don't mean to come off as ungrateful for being female. I know it really sounds like that, but I mean, I was just having a conversation last night about that to stimulate my mind and think about something other than staring at the TV while I ate, you know what I mean? So I'm just talking. I'm just having conversation. And continuing with that conversation, if it is true that women do have a harder time of it than men do, well, then that's the way it is. Then that's simply the way it is, and I can rise to that challenge. I don't need to have the easier route. I'm not even definitively saying that being a woman is harder or easier. I'm just saying if it is harder, then may I rise to the challenge of it being a more difficult gender to be. That's another thing I've been thinking about recently. It occurred to me yesterday. I thought, okay, I'm expanding this conversation. I'm kind of departing from the conversation a little bit. It's not about if something is easy or hard. That's not the thing. It's not about if it's easy or hard. It's about if it's right or wrong. That's what it's about. And so I think that's why it turns me off so much when people use as some sort of reason for not doing the right thing because it's hard or difficult. Like, so what is really my internal response. I probably don't say that out loud to their face because that would be probably rude, but I'm thinking, so okay, let's recognize that it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's okay, it's hard. So what is that supposed to mean? You won't do it then? If it's the right thing to do? Just some food for thought. Interesting though, I'm still not giving up on this subject apparently. The reason, I will try to say it in nicer terms, but the reason, okay, so I had this conversation last night about would you rather be a man or a woman if you had a choice? And the person I was having this conversation with, who is a man, said they would still choose to be a man. And why? I was curious. Now that piqued my interest. Now why would you still choose to be a man? I asked why. Why? The reason why I thought it was interesting was this person said they would still choose to be a man because they wouldn't want to, as a woman, if they were a woman, have to trust a man. Now, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that makes sense to me. They would still choose to be a man because if they were a woman, that would require them somehow to trust a man. No, that's coming from a man. Thought that was very interesting. But then I pursued this conversation further. I said, well, so is that the only reason? Because is that the only reason you would still choose to be a man, is because if you were a woman you'd have to trust a man? Because I said, if you were a man, maybe at some point you'd have to trust a woman. I mean, it goes both ways, right? But still, they would rather be a man. Oh yeah, I remember now another reason why they would still choose to be a man if they had a choice, other than not wanting to trust a man. They would still choose to be a man because they also didn't want to push babies out. That was the other reason. By the way, I'm using this utensil, which is missing part of the handle. But I don't know, I still like using it. Do you have a utensil of some kind or a tool of some kind at home that you know is partially broken but you still like to use it? This is that one for me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything to the crock pot. I'm gonna add a couple bay leaves. I'm gonna add some thyme. And I actually prefer using like fresh thyme, but I don't have that right now. I think I might add salt and pepper a little later. I'm gonna add some Worcestershire sauce. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this. It's like, it's beef bouillon, it's just not powder. It's like a paste. And probably a little bit of ketchup. And then I'm gonna call it good. Oh yeah, and then I might add a little bit of water. And then I'll call it good. am ready to open the next door of the advent calendar. Orange and cinnamon spice. It says it's caffeine free. What is that? I don't know how to pronounce that. Rooibos? Rooibos. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. That's the first ingredient. Vietnamese cinnamon. Natural orange flavors with other natural flavors. Orange peel. This does sound interesting. I have not had a tea like this before. Do I drink tea regularly? It depends on what is meant by regularly. Once a week? Yes, probably. Twice a week? Maybe. Depends on the time of year, maybe. The season. The only teas that I have actively sought out and bought at the store and frequently drink are first a jasmine green tea. That one I might add a little bit of sugar to, or honey. I don't add milk to that when I drink it. But that's probably the one I like the best. And then after that, Lady Grey or Earl Grey, or this one specific one, I forgot what it was actually called. I think it was coconut almond bark tea, something like that. I might show you in a future video, but that one doesn't remind me of a tea. It tastes like a dessert, especially if you brew it and then add sugar and milk to that one, the coconut almond bark one. It tastes like a dessert. So but yeah, I don't drink tea every single day. I guess I will to some degree this month since I'm doing this tea advent calendar, but as I might have mentioned in a video long ago, I don't drink coffee. I like it, the taste of it, but it doesn't like me very much. I mean, my body doesn't process it very great. What do I mean by that? Headaches, feeling generally not great. So, and besides that, I was trying to drink it, and then I felt like the Lord told me not to. So that's good enough for me. I don't anymore. Most of all, I drink water. I don't know what the rest of this day will hold. Yesterday was the first day of Vlogmas, and I was already second-guessing my choice of starting Vlogmas because of the extra load it is, like work, basically. The extra work it is, especially the editing process, takes time. But here I am, I'm forging ahead. But another thing I'm dealing with right now is it seems like every time I've tried to do Vlogmas that I encounter some kind of technical difficulty with my computer. And so I am encountering that again with this Vlogmas. I would like to get it. I would like to go ahead and start editing, but my computer's not ready for me. I'll just put it that way. So there's that I'm dealing with. What else is happening today? I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the day will hold. I think I will continue doing various chores that need to be done. I'm still doing laundry. I need to do some vacuuming I need to clean my fish tank. Quite a few things that are not really vlog worthy. So anyway, I will go ahead and try this tea. Okay, I've got the tea here. I didn't add milk this time. I only added a little bit of sugar. It smells good. Okay, I hope it's not too hot. That is interesting. I can definitely taste the orange. The cinnamon's not very strong, which is fine with me. It's good. It's good. For some reason it made me think of orange flavored soda. I don't know why it did, but like I haven't even drank orange flavored soda since I was a kid, but that's what came to my mind. It's definitely not orange soda, of course, but interesting. It's good. I haven't quite figured it out yet. Maybe it's that ingredient, that first ingredient that I couldn't pronounce. Maybe that's what I can't figure out the taste of, but it's good. I don't mind it. Goes down pretty easy. I was thinking back to my earlier little monologue about if you could choose to be a man or a woman, which one would you choose? And would you choose what you are currently? I was thinking about that, and I said how I wouldn't choose to be a woman again. Yes, I wouldn't, but at the same time, I don't want to change, even if I could. I don't know that I would want to change who I am, what I am, because that's what God decided for me. And God's way is best, so I want to walk in the way He determined for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to just go my own way and choose something that He didn't want for me. So I will be... No, that wasn't really part of the conversation. I wouldn't actually change my gender in the real world. I was just having a conversation, basically a mental exercise with somebody about the topic. But would I actually really, with all the facts included and not just this separate conversation disconnected from reality? No, I wouldn't, because this is what God chose for me to be on this earth. So I would want to go with that. And no, I'm not about to try to make this conversation into about what's been going on in the world lately, about people actually literally trying to change into a man or a woman. No, I don't really want to go there. I don't need to go there. No, I was just mentally exercising last night, trying to have an interesting conversation with somebody about if you could choose, would you want to be a man or a woman? But in reality, and with all the facts included, and part of the facts including that God chose me to be this way, no, I wouldn't change myself, because that's what God apparently chose for me. So I'm good with His choice, and I'm not looking for fairness necessarily. I think that is a vain endeavor. if you are searching for fairness in this world and in your personal life, for me, I'm not looking for fairness because that seems vain, a vain endeavor to look for fairness. I'm referring to the fact that earlier I mentioned about how I thought women have it basically harder. That may be so, that may not be so, but even if it was that women have it harder, well, that's just the way it is, isn't it? You're gonna change that? Who's gonna change that? Who's gonna change that? So, if it is harder, then, as I said earlier, I shall, with God's help, rise to the challenge and do the best with what I've been given. Something within me would rather rise to the challenge than become lazy to some lower standard. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, so let's just go along with my opinions for a second, and let's just say that men have it easier. Well, I mean, let me rephrase that. Let's say that expectations of men are less than what expectations of women are. If that is the case, even if that was the case, I wouldn't want to, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to lower myself to lower expectations. I would still want to rise above what society expects of me, let's say, and excel. I wouldn't want to become lazy and be like, well, not much is expected of me, so I guess that's good for me, and I'll just keep myself to those lower standards because that's all I gotta do anyway, right? No, I wouldn't want to do that anyway, even if I was a man and expectations of me were low. Sometimes that might be easy to fall back on, like, okay, so not much is expected of me, so I'm good to go with low expectations. No, I would still want to excel and be all that I can be. Where am I going with this? So then, if going with my opinions that more is expected of women, well then, with God's grace, I want to rise to that challenge and not be seeking fairness or something like that. Hopefully this makes some sense. It makes some sense to me. I was just basically saying that, okay, if there is this difference in expectations of men and women, and the expectations are more for women, if that is the case, then that is the case. It's not, I'm not seeking to necessarily change that. I'm just saying, to me, that is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not seeking to change it. I'm just recognizing it, as well as understanding that, okay, if things aren't fair, then they aren't fair, and so get on with it, you know? Get on with it then. Oh well. So, I will go ahead and get on with my day. I think I may be able to finally do some editing today. I feel like I'm behind already with editing for Vlogmas, but I will go ahead. I think I'll have something to eat, and then I'll try to do some editing. And yes, I am doing a rerun of last night's dinner.
Time for some beef.